Welcome back, friends. Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee was addressing a rally earlier in the day in Kolkata. That was after a Padayatra. And the whole gig was about protesting the special intensive revision of electoral rolls going on in Bihar. It's not in Bengal. But the Trinamool believes that ultimately it would come to Bengal also, and that it would be detrimental to Mamata Banerjee's and Trinamool's politics. And in that rally, while making that address, the Bengal Chief Minister made some comments which perhaps do not pass the muster when it comes to political maturity and constitutional dignity. She almost suggested that the Election Commission is brokering on behalf of the ruling BJP at the center. She actually used the word dalali. Now, we don't know whether she really meant it. If she did not, maybe she needs to qualify. But remember, this drive being carried out by the Election Commission in Bihar, and which the Election Commission intends to carry across the country, has been approved by the Supreme Court, to the extent that the Supreme Court did not stop the exercise from happening. And yet, we have Mamata Banerjee hitting the streets. Remember, the matter is still sub judice. The Supreme Court, the topmost court of the country, another constitutional body like the Election Commission, is going to take it up again on July 28th. What we have to understand is, what's the motivation with which the Bengal Chief Minister made those comments? That's our focus. Shawan joins me in the studios.
Well, in fact, Abhishek, the question here is this: is this entire exercise unconstitutional in nature? Whether at all the timing of this entire exercise is questionable or not. The reality is this: the opposition today essentially stands at a time where they haven't really questioned the constitutionality of this particular issue. The timing becomes the larger bone of contention. Ladies and gentlemen, think about this. If you are eligible and you are not part of the electoral roll, is that acceptable to you? The fact is that those who are not eligible, if they are part of the electoral roll, is that acceptable to you? The question that we are asking tonight: who should be part of this electoral roll? You as an eligible citizen, or those who are the infiltrators? The question is, how long are we going to accept this?
All right.
The battle of electoral roll revision in Bihar is intensifying.
आप इतने प्रेस टाइमलाइन में बिना पारस्परिक विमर्श के और भागीदारी के, आप सिर्फ इसलिए कि आपने बैठे बिठाए एक चीज़ सोच लिया, किसी के इशारे पर सोच लिया कि इसको मुकम्मल करना है, कम वॉट में, ऐसे लोकतंत्र नहीं चला करता, ऐसे संवैधानिक संस्थाएं नहीं चला करती हैं। तो कोई भी हो, नेता प्रतिपक्ष लगातार संपर्क में है और हम कोर्ट की हियरिंग का भी इंतजार कर रहे हैं।
As per the Election Commission of India, 86% of the state's electors have already submitted their forms for enumeration, with the special intensive revision covering nearly 91% of the electorate. Only 9 days remain, with the ECI to cover the remaining 9% electors of the state. Despite the Supreme Court refusing to intervene, the opposition says that this is a violation of the rights of voters.
SIR जो इलेक्शन कमीशन करवा रहा है बिहार में, ये असली बात ये है कि SIR जो लोक कल्याण मार्ग में निवास करते हैं वही जिम्मेदार हैं। लोगों की का जो वोट है, वोट का हक जो हक है, कानूनी, न केवल कानूनी हक है पर संवैधानिक हक है नागरिकों का, उसको छीनने की प्रयास की जा रही है। दलित, आदिवासी, अल्पसंख्यक, महिला, पिछड़े वर्ग इस पर बहुत प्रभावित होंगे।
The BJP is calling out appeasement politics.
बहुत परेशान है, व्याकुल भारत हो रहे हैं विपक्ष। उनको अपने बांग्लादेशी भाई, रोहिंग्या भाइयों के लिए, म्यांमारी भाइयों के लिए, नेपाली भाइयों के लिए, भाईजानों के लिए बहुत चिंता हो रही है। चुनाव आयोग तो अपना काम कर रहा है। जो मृत हुए वोटर हैं, जो डबल वोटर्स हैं, जो स्थानांतरित वोटर हैं, उनको भी इंक्लूड कर रहा है कि उनके नाम काटे जाएंगे इलेक्टोरल रोल से। इससे परेशानी किसी को नहीं है। 88.1% लोग अपना फॉर्म अपलोड कर चुके हैं टोटल वोटर लिस्ट का। उसके बावजूद भी विपक्ष को परेशानी है, पेट में दर्द हो रहा है। तो स्वाभाविक है व्याकुल भारत क्यों हो रहे हैं, इसकी व्यथा समझी जा सकती है।
The electoral roll revision in Bihar have already sent the alarm bells ringing in neighbouring West Bengal, with Mamata Banerjee even calling the ECI a broker.
एक तो इलेक्शन कमीशन बैठे हैं, मैं उसको डिसरेस्पेक्ट नहीं करते हैं, लेकिन अगर कोई बीजेपी दलाली करे तो हम उसको इंसान के लिए हम कहेंगे दलाली मत करना, हम नहीं छोड़ेंगे।
However, in neighbouring Assam, Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma is taking on the demography change issue head-on.
Voter list revision cannot stop demographic invasion. We have seen that how Lower Assam, Assamese people has completely become minority. The land where people are sitting now, these were either government land or forest land or VGR, PGR land. But our earlier generation did not see or did not visualize the conspiracy, and consequently we become minority in entire central Assam and lower Assam. It is not land jihad. Ahomok finish kori diya jihad eto.
Meanwhile, the AIMIM questions the ECI's allegation of citizens from Nepal, Bangladesh and Myanmar being on electoral rolls.
हम ECI से बड़ी हम्बली रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे कि आप उन BLOs का नंबर दो हमको। हमारे पार्टी के लोग जाकर उन BLOs से पूछेंगे कहाँ पर आपको दिखा है बांग्लादेश, कहाँ पर आपको नेपाली दिखा, कहाँ पर आपको म्यांमार का दिखा। हम BLO को जब मिल के उसको बताएंगे, वहाँ के लोगों को पूछेंगे। और आखिरी बात यह है कि बिहार में ख़ास तौर से सीमांचल का जो इलाका है, वहाँ पे जितने नौजवान हैं, मिसाल के तौर पर उसके 60-70% नौजवान या तो मुंबई में है, हैदराबाद में है, दिल्ली में है, या पंजाब के खेतों में काम कर रहे हैं, या केरल के खेतों में काम कर रहे हैं, है ही नहीं वहाँ पर।
The stage is set for the electoral season and the politics is intensifying. The only question remains, how can we allow the names of illegal immigrants on India's electoral rolls?
All right, welcome back again, and let's have an intense, engaging and hot conversation on this topic which concerns our country and its citizens and the whole idea of nation. You know why? Because citizens constitute nation. Citizens form nation, not non-citizens, not illegal infiltrators, and that's the focus. Joining us, Sanju Verma, BJP national spokesperson. She's joining us live from Mumbai. Satya Prakash Mishra, JDU leader, is joining us live from our studios here with me and Shawan. Karan Verma, political commentator, leans towards the right, joining us live from Delhi. Versus the debate is set. Kapil Madan, advocate, live from Delhi, leans towards the Indi and the Congress. Ravi Shankar Ravi, RJD spokesperson, official spokesperson of the party. Lalu Prasad Yadav's, Tejasvi Yadav's party. And I want to begin with you, Tausif, because that's the trigger coming in from your party's leader. Tausif Khan, pro-TMC voice. Mamata Banerjee, did she sort of cross certain Lakshman Rekha in the kind of language she used today against the Election Commission, Tausif?
Well,
Tausif.
the Election Commission deserves, in order for them to wake up, in order for them to
Election
not
Commission
go to
deserves
any,
what? This indecent
not to
language,
act
Dalali,
like a
Dalal,
BJP
what?
Dalal, as she rightly pointed out. If any officers or if the actions of Election Commission is seen to be that of a Dalali, then the appropriate word
Shawan,
has to
can
be
we
used.
open the debate? Can we open the debate? Sanju Verma, Tausif is saying Election Commission deserves that sobriquet of Dalali and Dalal. if the election
Can I come in?
Election commission is going on an intensive, what is this intensive?
This is something which is part of the rules and regulations. This is something which the election commission does regularly, routinely. The last time it was done in Bihar was 2003. It's being just repeated, Tausif. But Sanju Verma, you think election commission deserves, as Tausif says?
Yes. What happened in Maharashtra? What happened? The
What
Chief
happened?
Minister
Like,
Devendra
if you
Fadnavis' constituency, so many voters were added.
Could you please elaborate?
Can I please come in now?
Elaborate? Sanju.
Very easy. You find a
Tausif, beyond the rhetoric that we have essentially seen.
That is not going to.
Okay, Tausif, first of all, as far as the Supreme Court is concerned, the Supreme Court has not put a stay. This exercise has been hailed as something which is constitutional and the right of the Election Commission of India.
Every Bengali-speaking person cannot become a soft target of BJP and be tagged as a Bangladeshi.
So how does that link? How does that link with the SIR? Sanju, the question here is, 1 minute, Tausif, before you carry on with the rhetoric, if you have some facts to really back your argument, because unfortunately, even those who have gone to the Supreme Court have actually have seen eggs on their face simply on the count that this is nothing which is unconstitutional. But there is a larger question. There is a larger question as far as the timing of it itself. Sanju, as far as the electoral integrity is concerned, many were raising this question about the timing itself, whether at all it is practical or not. Even that is something that the Supreme Court was essentially opined.
Shravan, I want to make a couple of very quick points. First and foremost, this entire narrative, Election Commission to Godi Ayog hai. I will tell you what was Godi Ayog. 1989, there was a man called T.N. Seshan. He was the cabinet secretary to Rajiv Gandhi. From 1990 to 1996, he was the chief election commissioner. And this is the same T.N. Seshan who actually stalled the campaigning for a general election for 3 weeks so that Congress party could take Rajiv Gandhi's ashes or Asti Kalash le lekar pure Bharat ka bhraman kiya tha. And it was in that sympathy wave that the Congress then came to power. And let's not forget, there was a man called M.S. Gill, who was the chief election commissioner from 1996 to 2001. And guess what? In 2008, in a classic case of quid pro quo, M.S. Gill was made the Union Sports and Youth Affairs Minister by the Congress-led UPA. So, Congress should not be waxing eloquent about the bona fides of the Election Commission, but very quickly I will just say this. The special intensive revision SIR exercise has been upheld unconditionally by the Supreme Court, which said, Justice Sudhanshu Dhulia actually said, the Election Commission has the power to do what it is doing, point number 1. Point number 2, it said SIR is a democratic process and therefore the Supreme Court will not stay this process. And the third point, which is my personal favorite, is when Justice Dhulia said, if Election Commission will not conduct revision of electoral rolls, then who will do it? And last but not the least, for Rahul Gandhi and the Darbari ecosystem, which keeps talking about the red constitution book at the drop of a hat, the same constitution says, wide Article 324, Article 325 and Article 326, the prerogative to engage in voter roll revision vests completely with the Chief Election Commissioner and his team. So I think the Darbari ecosystem needs to zip it and stop lecturing the BJP or the Election Commission, which is a bona fide
Sanju, you haven't answered.
Body. It is not a handmaiden of Narendra Modi or of Amit Shah or of the BJP. Okay. Stop demeaning our institutions.
Sanju, a quick point before I take it to Ravi Shankar Ravi also. With regards to the timing, because that is the other bone of contention, because is it really practical to be able to make those changes, keeping in mind that you are saying that Aadhar card, of course, is not a proof of citizenship itself. And that is the reason why this entire process may not be possible to complete within that time period. Hence, it is leading to this kind of a discussion in the first place. You have laid the ground that, look here, the Congress has done this. So perhaps we could do this. Your argument, when you began this argument, it almost sounded like the Congress did so, so we are free to do so.
Shravan, that's a great question. And
Ravi ji,
will come straight to the
I just want a
point.
quick comment on that, because that will settle the debate here. That will settle the debate as far as the timing, and then we can proceed.
Thank you. Shravan, let's get one thing very clear. As of 14th July 2025, barely 48 hours back, there's a statement by the Election Commission which says that in Bihar, 88.18% of the enumeration forms have been filled in out of a total voter base of 7.9 crore voters. If 88.18% voters have already filled in their enumeration forms before the deadline of July 25th, it means more than 6.9 crore voters in Bihar have already filled in their enumeration forms. Only 93 lakh odd voters are left who still have to fill in their enumeration forms. There are more than 1 lakh BLOs, more than 1.5 lakh BLAs. There are more than 261 urban local bodies which are manned by booth agents which are doing the needful. If 88 or 89% of the SIR exercise is complete, Rahul Gandhi, Mamata Banerjee, Tejashwi Yadav ke pet mein dard kyun ho raha hai?
Ravi, why do you have a problem? Now, the reality is this, that there are certain districts, particularly if I this is more relevant for Tauseef, but having said that, I'm sure, Abhishek, this is also an issue that the state of Bihar basically faces at this point in time. The over-concentration of Aadhar cards in certain districts. That is the reason why this entire debate came up, that can you really go by Aadhar card? Because in Tauseef's state, particularly the border states, Aadhar card has become the sole contention, that has been the sole contention of becoming the problem of how Aadhar cards have been dished out to the infiltrators. Ravi, what is the problem if you are weeding out those who are not eligible?
No, see, there are different areas other than the areas you mentioned where oversaturation of Aadhar cards are there. But the point is here, if these Aadhar cards are issued to the wrong people, infiltrators, foreign nationals, or whatever you may call them, then the documents, other documents like residential or domicile, they are also fake, and that is in the list of the Election Commission notification. Then if you accept that, then you are including the intruders into the electoral roll. What kind of intensive drive is this?
But Raviji, you have a problem when in Kishanganj, where the total Muslim population is around 68%, Aadhar saturation is 126%. This means for every 100 people, there are about 126 Aadhar cards. How is that even possible?
I am not saying that.
Shouldn't you be as a conscious citizen, shouldn't you have a problem with that? And you should say that, okay, good job. At least
no, oversaturation is bad. It is not acceptable. But it is not only with the areas where Muslim population is more. There are other areas where Hindu population is more. The same situation. I mean, 3 to 4 days ago, there was a reporting by NDTV at 9 p.m. by Avasthi. And in so many areas, including Noida, Delhi, the oversaturation of Aadhar card is there. So it has nothing to do with the religion of people. But
exactly.
yes, oversaturation should not be there.
Exactly, and still you continue to ask for Aadhar, and ironically, Shravan, this is the same opposition, which in 2021 was absolutely inimical to the idea of the government linking the voter ID card with the Aadhar card. Now, I'll get a soundbite from that time and play it for you. But, you know, what is the problem here? Kapil Madan, look at some facts. The opposition, I don't know what is in their minds. In Maharashtra, they say, oh, the numbers increased. In Bihar, they are saying, oh, the numbers went down. Now, look at this. About 30 lakh names/numbers weeded out of the electoral rolls in the ongoing exercise. Kapil. Now, who are these people? I'm just going factually. About 5.5 lakh are those who were registered twice in the same state in Bihar. it can happen, a girl, for example, gets married, living in Siwan, gets married, goes to Patna. She gets a voter ID card in Patna also. So she ends up having 2 voter ID cards, one in Siwan, one in Patna. So it has to be cleaned. Second, about 12.5 lakh voters, couple, who were found to be dead and their names were still there on the voters list. This is, remember, a comprehensive exercise happening after 2003 for the first time, 22 years later. So what's wrong if those who are not there, those who have multiple voter ID cards, they're getting weeded out, their names getting removed? I mean, what's the fuss really about, Kapil?
Now, Abhishek, let me just give you a very quick example. Sanju raised some bona fide on the election commission. So I will just, highlight one very important point. You will recall...
Sanju raised bona fides and Tausif raised mala fides.
Hold on. Abhishek, please don't interrupt. You never interrupted when Sanju was speaking. Yes, allow me to now complete. Now, you may recall the Supreme Court passed a judgment where the Supreme Court said that, nominee of the Supreme Court will also be there in the committee who will appoint the election commissioner. What happened thereafter? We all know what happened thereafter. The government came up with the law and this was changed and the Supreme Court's nominee was removed with the committee and you were left with, predominantly the incumbent government, that's the BJP, who makes the decision who will be the chief election commissioner. That's point number 1. It raises eyebrows. Why would the government want to do that? My point number 2 and more important insofar as this issue is concerned, we've all seen in 2024, we had general elections. And in general election, there was a voting roll, nominal roll, etc. that was prepared by the election commission. Now, are you trying to say here that in 2024, when the general election happened, the numbers that you just gave about 12 lakh people, who are dead, are you trying to suggest that, in that elections, 12 lakh bogus voters were there?
No, they're people, sorry to say, with all dignity, those are the people who are dead, Kapil. So obviously there is no point in having their names there.
Abhishek, I know these facts are very important.
Or for that matter, those who have, 2 epic cards. In the package, just let me complete, just factually correcting you. In the package that we ran, there was a soundbite of Asaduddin Owaisi. Just Kapil, give me 30 seconds. I'm coming to you only, not going anywhere else, coming to you only. In the package we ran, there was a soundbite of Asaduddin Owaisi. Kapil, I'm coming to you. Where he said that 60 to 70% of the youth from Simanchal in Bihar works in Mumbai, works in Punjab. So obviously they are not there. They would have had their arrangements there. They would have made their voter cards there. So that cleaning has to happen. Just basic deep clean exercise happening.
I ask a question. What stopped you from having this exercise just before 2024 election? Was that not important? Are you trying to suggest that?
Does that become a justification for not getting it done now? Does that become a justification? That argument becomes a justification for not getting it done now?
Levy, so I congratulate you and thank you for exposing the government, because you are also now saying that if they want to do this exercise now, perhaps that they have failed to do this before 2024. And now let me come back to the point here. Now, you want to do an exercise where, about 7 crore of voters needs to be verified, etc. Let me ask you another question. You knew that in 2025 there would be Bihar elections. We had elections in few phases in
Kapil, that's the answer that Sanju gave a short while back.
Hold on. I know.
That's the answer. I started this entire debate by asking that whether at all it is practical or not in the first place. And as far as the timing... Kapil, do understand we are just going round and round on this particular issue.
I do get your and Sanju's anxiety. Sanju also wants to come in because she's also getting anxious. Please hold on. I'm yet to finish.
Oh my God.
It's only a half expose. It's a half expose. Now let me just come back.
You're making zero sense. You come and blabber non-stop.
Why and how?
Okay, Sanju, let him complete and then I'll come to Karan also. Karan has been waiting.
She's getting anxious.
Sanju, allow Kapil to respond. There are others who haven't spoken right now. Sanju, I'll come back to you. You have already, why don't you respond to the fact? Sanju has already made the point by simply saying, okay, can we proceed? Can we proceed, Kapil? She says, and I'm repeating this for your benefit. She is saying, Sanju, just a minute, Kapil, the point that she is making with regards to the timing itself, because this is an argument that was made inside the court too, Kapil.
No.
And that remains a bone of contention.
And let me tell you, the court said that even if you ask these documents from the court, the Supreme Court judge said that he will not be able to produce these documents. This is also a reality which was observed. So now Sanju wants to. The point is Sanju
before
wants.
I come to you, let Karan respond. Let Karan come in. Karan. Okay, Sanju, I'll come to you. Sanju, there are several other issues that are also coming up. We are focusing just on this, electoral role. But the larger question here is about infiltrators. The reality today is that when the Assam Chief Minister says that the entire demography of the state is bound to change if we do not act on time. And Karan, that brings us to the same old debate, the same old question. Before the Jharkhand elections also this has happened. We are back to square one. What really happens when the elections are not really happening? What exactly are we really doing to really combat the situation of infiltrators?
So kindly give me an uninterrupted minute, Shravan. So first of all, let me bust the lie that my good friend Kapil made here. He said that the government has not included others in the appointment of the election commissioner. Just so he knows, before 2023, it was the whole sole prerogative of the president. That has changed post 2023, and today the opposition also has a voice in it. In the selection committee, the leader of the opposition is also a part of it. So that's a fact on record. The Supreme Court said, can we be a part? With 80,000 cases, I think they have much better to do. And you never included the opposition while you were in power, while the Congress was in power. That's number one. Secondly, to your question, Shravan, and I saw Tausif wax eloquent. Let me quote him, what someone said on August 4, 2005. The infiltration in Bengal has become a disaster now. I have both the Bangladeshi and the Indian voters list. Illegal migrants from Bangladesh are a part of the voters list in West Bengal. And she threw the papers at the Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha. That was Mamata Banerjee back in 2005. And today, look at Mamata Banerjee and look at this party. They do a complete 180 degree and they talk about defending illegals. She was the one who raised the voice. And I'll tell you why they are doing it, Shravan. Ghulam Ahmad Mir, the Jharkhand Congress chief in 2014 during the election said, we are ready to give gas cylinders to illegals. If they get their way on election day, they should have illegal migrants as their vote bank. They will force you to put a ticker for illegal migrants. That's their vote bank. And they've made no bones about it. They are ready to give them freebies. They are ready to have them. What happened in Simanchal? 120% Aadhar. That speaks about their mindset. Illegals have been their vote bank. Okay, in 2003, this exercise with less modern tools, less advancement was done in 30 days. Why can't it be done now?
What is right. Tausif, would you want to respond to this? This is ultimately about your vote bank, Tausif. It is ultimately about your vote bank. Mamata Banerjee of 2005 in opposition versus Mamata Banerjee of 2025 in government. It's just the vote bank which matters.
No, you see, Mamata Banerjee has time again stood for the Bengali pride and for the safety of Bengali speaking persons across the country. Even today, a rally is held in Kolkata, is taken out by Mamata Banerjee. She led that rally, which is in protest about the atrocities that the Bengali speaking men are facing across the country by the radical BJP and Sangh goons. They are alleging.
For God's sake, which one? God's sake, which one? Please give us an example. Don't give me that one example which happened in, I think, Siliguri or Kuch Bihar, the North Bengal.
One second.
Where one Assamese citizen.
No, it's not one example.
Not Assamese, but Assam citizen of Bengali origin got a mistaken notice which was taken back. Remember?
No.
Now, if that is an issue for the chief minister to hit the streets, I don't know.
Our country, even in Delhi.
In Delhi, it's Bangladeshis, for God's sake, not Bengali Muslims. The Bangladeshis, the illegals.
People, they are targeted by calling them a Bangladeshi. This hatred that the BJP has towards the
What's
Bengali
the evidence?
And the state.
What's the evidence? What's the evidence? What's the evidence?
Come what may.
Tausif,
they have tried all the tricks in the book.
Suddenly this Bengali pride. Suddenly this Bengali pride. Tausif,
their hatred is so out.
There is no hatred, first of all. First of all, Tausif, you are not certainly a representative of a Bengali.
Not
I am a
suddenly.
Bengali myself.
Not suddenly,
One
please,
second, hold on,
please.
hold on,
National anthem is
Tausif.
given by a
Before
Bengali.
you suddenly
Today,
become
the
whole
national anthem.
One
this thing
second,
is given by
Tausif,
the
for
Bengali.
you
So
to
don't say
claim,
Southern Bengali
for you
pride.
to claim that you are the representative of the Bengali pride
No,
in
you
itself
don't know
is
the
wrong.
history then.
First
You
of all,
don't know the
first of all,
independence struggle.
no one has
You
given
don't
you
know
the
the role played
certificate.
by
No one
Bengal
has
in the
given you the
independence
certificate that whole and sole representative of the Bengalis is Tausif and Mamata Banerjee. First of all, please understand, I as a Bengali can also say we are very proud of where we are, but at the same time we will call when our own fellow countrymen are relegated to the corner. One second, please hear me out. In Murshidabad, in Uttar Dinajpur, in Malda, Tausif, you are talking to a journalist who's been in these very places. In border areas of Malda, we exactly know what is exactly happening, how exactly Aadhar cards are given. That's a reality. How exactly the population there has been a demographic shift that has taken place in Malda, in Murshidabad. By numbers, I'm putting it out across to you. So for you to say Bengali pride, please hold on. Hold on. There is anything but Bengali pride. Please say proudly. Why don't you proudly say, Tausif, that we are very proud of the vote bank politics that we have been doing?
Who is issuing? Who is responsible for issuing Aadhar card? You're talking about borders. Who's controlling the border? BJP is to be questioned. Why they are issuing fake Aadhar card? Who they are issuing these fake Aadhar cards? So that these, in the name of religion, they expect that they will add more fake voters in Bengal so that they will get more BJP votes. Is that the intention?
Nobody has heard Bengali.
Okay, let's structure this. Shawan, give me a minute. Shawan.
Why is BSF, which is controlled by
Okay,
central government, controlled by Amit Shah?
Tausif, you got your number. Tausif, you got your number. Listen.
Either you accept
Tausif, pull back. Okay, Karan, pull back, please. Karan, pull back. Tausif, my question, I have to get in Satyaprakash Mishra also. Please, Tausif, you got your 2 chances. I have to still get in Satyaprakash Mishra. But a quick question. A quick question from Ravi Shankar. Ravi, don't elaborate. I'll come to you for elaboration later. Just answer me this specific question. Should Aadhar card and the voter ID card be linked or not?
No, in 2022 it was. In the.
Today, tell me. Today, tell me. Should they be linked or not? Should they be linked?
Was in this process.
Should they be linked or not?
What is the problem?
So you are agreeing they should be linked, right?
In 2022.
In 2025, you are agreeing that Aadhar and APEC should be linked, no problem. You have no problem. You're saying, what's the problem? Okay, now let's play the soundbite. I'll ask Aditi to play the soundbite that we have of the opposition position. The position of opposition. Sanju, I'm coming to you. Just listen to that soundbite. I'm coming to you. Listen to this soundbite. The position of opposition on the linking of Aadhar and APEC.
Read Supreme Court judgments, and there are 3 Supreme Court judgments, 2 in 2015 and 1 in 2016, which clearly define where Aadhar can be used. PDS, distribution of cooking gas, distribution of kerosene, Mahatma Gandhi Narega, scholarships, old age pensions. These Supreme Court decisions, orders, not oral observations, but these are actual orders of the Supreme Court, which clearly define, not in 1 judgment, but in 3 judgments in the last 2 years, where Aadhar can be used. And where Aadhar must be used, not mandatorily, but where Aadhar must be used, giving the beneficiary an option. Now, unfortunately, sir, the option of this government is to hold a pistol on my head and say, do you have an Aadhar number? I say no. Then, when I say no, they say, go get yourself an Aadhar number. The alternative cannot be, go get yourself an Aadhar number.
This suffices. Okay, fair enough. This suffices. Now you got the drift, right? Satyaprakash Mishra ji. You got the drift. This opposition, which now says, oh, please bring Aadhar card. There are 10 petitions in the Supreme Court. Jairam Ramesh was saying, oh, there are Supreme Court orders that the Aadhar card has very limited utility. The same opposition now, 10 petitions in the Supreme Court. From AIMIM to RJD to Congress to TMC. Please bring Aadhar card into the electoral process. Satyaprakash Mishra.
The same opposition party went to the Supreme Court in 2022 to oppose this move when the amendment came into 2021. The Supreme Court, the Election Commission this year submitted a written submission in the Supreme Court that the linking of Aadhar card with voter ID will be just optional. These political outfit, why tomorrow don't go to the Supreme Court and just put a written submission there that they do not have any, problem with linking Aadhar card with the voter ID. What opposition is actually doing since, this BJP and NDA government came in power 11 years back? All opposition party just trying to confuse and making fake allegation against every constitutional authority, whether it is a election commission or ED or even Supreme Court. What happened in the Rafale case? When Supreme Court concluded that Rafale deals was as per the policy, whatever the policy matter was with the government of India, and it was a fair deal, but Rahul Gandhi never stopped. He started propagating that the Pradhan Mantri Chaukidar chor hai. So we don't expect anything right from the opposition political outfits. Even the Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh tomorrow came and meet them that India is being run on the constitutional process. They will never understand what was the reason, because they have faced so many debacle in, so many elections. The Rahul Gandhi is frustrated. Now the Mamata Banerjee is highly frustrated, issuing certain kind of awful and highly objectionable comment regarding, election commission. Mamata Banerjee was the member of parliament when this man T.N. Sesson, Sanju Verma forget to mention that T.N. Sesson contested election on the Congress ticket against Honorable Lal Krishna Advani ji from Ahmedabad. Yes. Such kind of election commission was being run by the House of Congress party. So what we expect, and Rahul Gandhi expect that, election commission must open a branch of its office into the house of Rahul Gandhi, and whatever Rahul Gandhi suggests, then the constitutional process is in picture. The second point he raised that about the appointment of election commission. Karan, I think, rightly observed that. I want to add one more point. In any democracy, the judiciary is only limited to provide the justice and deliver the justice and, strengthen the justice system, not to appoint any member of any commission like election commission. Right. There is a demarcation of power between judiciary, election commission and every section of the constitutional framework. Right. So what is happening in Bihar, why they are targeting election commission to divert the attention of the people of India, from the real core issue that opposition political outfits are not addressing the real concern
the manner
and
in
real
which,
issues.
Listen,
the timing. I am coming to the timing. If any time would have been chosen by the election commission, they would have objected in the same way.
But that's what Kapil is doing. 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 But that you did not do it in 2024. Why are you doing it now?
2003, within 30 days, it was completed, and the election was in 2004, March, I think. And the Manmohan Singh government was formed on the basis of that SIR. One issue has been raised by Tassim.
I have to take this forward.
I just want to add one more point.
Quickly.
Okay, there are voters who have never casted their votes in the last election because they were shifted permanently from Bihar. They have two different kind of voter ID in two different districts.
Obviously,
the
that's
names
cleaning
of
up
those
operation
voters
happening.
Satyaprakash
Mishra. But my point is the manner in which Satyaprakash ji, you see, the manner in which this whole politics is panning out. Right. It's very unfortunate. Kapil, it's not about timing. It's not about whether the election commission has the mandate to check citizenship. It's about a democratic process, about strengthening democracy. Hold on. I'm just, Kapil, an attempt.
Then you can ask Kapil.
Kapil, an attempt has been made to give it a Hindu-Muslim spin. Oh, this is about minority. This is about Simanchal. This is about Muslims. No, for God's sake, listen. Interesting facts. It's not Hindu-Muslim. Listen to it carefully. Listen to it carefully. Just a couple of days back, on 12th of July, a Nepalese citizen was caught carrying an Aadhar card. Right? Now, that citizen of Nepal was identified as Rekha, a Hindu Nepalese citizen carrying an Indian Aadhar card and an Indian voter ID card. She was caught at the Bengaluru airport. She had both the documents. She is a Nepalese citizen. She is Rekha, a Hindu, and she had both an Aadhar card and a voter ID card, Kapil. Also, Look at this. I'm giving you another example of why this is not a Hindu-Muslim issue. On 8th of June, which is last month, a racket was busted of making fake Aadhar cards in the Kishanganj district of Bihar. 5 Bangladeshis were arrested, and then those people who were running the racket of those, 2 people were arrested, Kapil. One was identified as Jamal, the other was identified as Pankaj, a Hindu and a Muslim. So it's not a Hindu-Muslim issue. It is, I mean, what's your problem if the Nepalese, the Bangladeshis, the Myanmaris, they are just taken out of the electoral rolls? They cannot decide, you know, just imagine the irony. The Myanmaris cannot decide the government of Myanmar, but they are allowed to decide the government in India. Do you look at the irony, Kapil?
Yes. Now, Abhishek, I am with you that there should not be any...
Sanju, coming to you after this.
There should not be any polarization or religious lines insofar as this
and that's what the opposition is doing. That's what the opposition is doing.
Hold on. But if you look at the statements made by them, in fact, almost all the BJP leaders are making this statement that, look, you know, we are targeting Rohingyas, we are targeting, you know, so-and-so, etc. Now, my first question to you is that if there are illegal or forced Aadhar card, you know, are being issued, now, my point, who makes the Aadhar card? Which is the body that makes the Aadhar card? Which body reports to? It reports to the central government.
Sanju Verma, the ball is in your court again.
Again, you're trying to say that the central government has failed. They are negligent.
Yes, if it has failed, why not correct? If it has failed, then correction mechanism has to be there.
Now,
Sanju Verma is saying the government has failed. And so let's move on.
You guys are not getting the debate. You're giving a free ride to Kapil Madhan. I don't know why you get the BJP. Kapil is making absurd allegations. Kapil, please keep quiet. Can I just make my point, Abhishek and Shravan?
Yes, Sanju Verma, you make your point.
You're speaking on my time. Sanju, you're speaking on my time.
No,
No, Kapil, you provoked her. Kapil, you provoked her. I am giving her a moment to respond to you. Because you clearly said the government has failed because the Aadhar cards are in a quantum which they should not be. Okay, Sanju.
Thank you. Let's get one thing very clear, and this is very important data that your audience needs to listen to. Prior to the assembly elections in Bengal, 2.3 lakh voters were deleted. But come Panchayat elections, 2.3 lakh voters were added. In Kerala, 1.7 lakh voters were deleted ahead of assembly elections in 2021. But before Lok Sabha, from Kerala alone, 67,000 voters were added to the electoral rolls. Telangana, 4.28 lakh voters were added ahead of Lok Sabha. But in 2023, ahead of assembly polls, 97,000 voters were deleted from Hyderabad alone, but the big daddy of them all, Abhishek and Shravan, is Karnataka, where 3.2 lakh voters were deleted ahead of assembly elections in 2023. And in Himachal, 47,000 voters were deleted ahead of assembly elections in 2022. What is the point I'm driving home? Be it Bengal, Himachal, Karnataka, Telangana, voters were deleted. बीजेपी ने खिसियानी दिल्ली खंबा नोचे की तरह आकर नेशनल टीवी पर रोना धोना नहीं किया, because we understand that voter addition and voter deletion happens as per the RPA Act of 1950-51, as per Form 7A and 7C, and as per the registration of electoral rules 1960. The third and most important point is this: why can't you submit your bank statement? Why can't you submit your matriculation certificate? Why can't you submit your LIC document? Most people these days have an insurance. Why can't you submit any document from a public sector entity?
Sanju, but your government also wanted Aadhar to be linked to the voter ID. What's the problem now? I mean, the EC could have agreed to it, you know, to begin with, and the mess would not have been there.
My final point, I think Shravan made a very interesting point, and just I will elaborate on that in 30 seconds. In Kishanganj, with a 68% Muslim population, you have 120 Aadhar cards for every 100 people. In Katihar, with a 44% Muslim population, you have 136 Aadhar cards for every 100 persons. In Araria, with a 44% Muslim population, you have 122 Aadhar cards for every 100 persons. And in Purnia in Bihar, again with a Muslim population of 39%, you have 121 Aadhar cards for every 100 people, which means that in these Muslim-dominated areas, be it Purnia, Kishanganj, Araria, Katihar, Aadhar card has been misused. Data does not lie. So the Election Commission is saying that if your name was there in the Bihar electoral rolls in 2003, you don't need to submit any proof by way of birth certificate. If you have been born after 1987 but before 2004, you need to submit the birth details of both the parents or at least one parent. But if you have been born after 2004, then you have to submit your birth certificate and the birth details of both your parents mandatorily. So mujhe boliye, when most of the electors in Bihar are those who have already been there in the electoral register in 2003, राहुल गांधी को फिर क्या दिक्कत है, तेजस्वी यादव को क्या दिक्कत है? You don't want the election commission to weed out illegal aliens. You don't want the election commission to weed out Guspetiya. You don't want the election commission to weed out Rohingyas. Rohingya आपके भाई लगते हैं, घुसपैठिया आपके भाई लगते हैं, illegal aliens आपके भाई लगते हैं, तेजस्वी यादव.
Not just Sanju, but the Supreme Court on this entire matter of 2003 cutoff also said that there is logic behind it.
Yeah.
And the logic is this, that as far as the computerization process is concerned, which even Satyaprakash Mishra ji also pointed out, that in 2003, when the exercise could have been completed within a limited period of time, that too without the presence of any technological aid, why is there this kind of a thought in the first place that probably this exercise will not be completed? When you have the technology in place, your intentions are correct, the intentions have not been questioned, then why should any political party really have a problem with what many say is the electoral right of every citizen in this country?
The Election Commission itself changed its guidelines.
Today is
Let me complete. In the advertisement, it gave an advertisement in the newspaper.
Sanju, let him complete and then you can respond to it. Let him complete. Let him make his point.
Muslims account for 30% of Bengal's population, and not all of it is organic. As Shravan mentioned, Murshidabad 67% Muslim population.
Can I complete?
Malda 51% Muslim population. Uttar Dinajpur 52% Muslim population. Birbhum, Bardwan, Nadia, more than 42% Muslim population. You think this growth in Muslim population in Bengal is organic? Nahi ji. Mamata Begum ne Rohingyao ko gale lagaya. Bangladeshi घुसपैठियों को गले लगाया. That is how in merely 40 years the Muslim population.
Yes, I would just say when I was speaking sometimes ago, I said that the place where your studio is located is a Hindu, dominated place, but
it's a jungle. It's a jungle.
It's
a jungle.
So
it's a forest.
It has. No, if you link it with Aadhar, then this is reported, as I said. Now, after 2003...
It's not Hindu dominated, it's not Muslim dominated, it's right in the middle of fields.
For us it's a nation first, Raviji. Everyone is Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, everyone is present in this campus.
I just responded to and contended what...
But I clinically showed, Raviji, I clinically showed this is not a Hindu-Muslim issue. You know, Nepali citizen caught with a forged Aadhar and voter ID card was a Hindu. And Myanmari citizens, they do not get to decide their government even in Myanmar. So why should they get to decide in India? And if the Bangladeshis have created such a mess for themselves in their country, they have no right to come here and create a mess for us. And do you really?
I just want to ask one question.
In fact, if you were a responsible public figure, you would say, why not have this comprehensive, deep, clean exercise with the kind of technology we have these days every 5 years?
No.
Every 5 years, before every state assembly election and before every general election, let's have this kind of comprehensive cleaning up of the electoral rolls. And that's going to make our democracy stronger. That's going to make our democracy resilient. That's going to make our democracy transparent. And that's what everyone should be wanting. And everyone should be, ready to go for it.
How would they produce it? My question is, just one question, is anyone any one of the 11 documents listed in the notification a proof for citizenship? Can anybody answer
Once
that?
the Election Commission has listed those 11 documents, Election Commission is a constitutional body. You don't need anybody else to say anything on that count.
No,
Okay,
in the Supreme Court, the Honorable Judge made this observation that Election Commission
Shawan,
has
it's a
no
very
right
interesting
to
idea.
inquire about
Sanju, it's a very interesting idea. If he's saying that, Election Commission has no right to check citizenship, okay, fine. Interesting idea. Friends, Shawan, would the opposition agree if the Home Ministry and not the Election Commission start this citizenship check exercise and comes out with a National Register of Citizens, NRC? Are we looking at the possibility that opposition, which does not want the Election Commission to do this, would they be okay if the Home Ministry, which is mandated by the Constitution to check and make a list of citizens as per a statute, would the opposition agree to NRC? Perhaps that would be our next debate.
Well, in fact, Abhishek has tried his best to now provoke the opposition by saying bringing in the NRC aspect. But ladies and gentlemen, time to
chronology,
repose.
Samajiye, chronology. That's
It's
the next.
time to repose the faith in our institutions. And the fact of the matter is this, that we as a country would always believe in the process that should be in place. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on the debate.
Thanks for watching.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ, डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ, सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
Hi, this is Chef Ranveer Brar. Guarantee you brilliance on behalf of IIHM.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार, विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
Well, at the end of 50 days, if we don't have a deal, it's going to be too bad. Yeah, the tariffs are going to go on and other sanctions go on.
Donald Trump.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ, डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ, सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
where the software engineer meets the cool UI UX designer, meets the gifted content writer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
Indian hypersonic cruise missile. There is great news for the Indian people. India's DRDO has
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ, डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
एक तो इलेक्शन कमीशन बैठे हैं, मैं उसको डिसरेस्पेक्ट नहीं करते हैं, लेकिन अगर कोई बीजेपी दलाली करे तो हम उसको इंसान के लिए हम कहेंगे दलाली मत करना।
Mamata warns Election Commission says will oppose to the nail if EC calls for an electoral roll revision in Bengal. Strain in BJP AIADMK alliance. EPS says alliance with BJP is only for the 2026 assembly polls and there won't be a coalition government in Tamil Nadu after the elections. Republic accesses Juvenile Justice Board order on fatal Pune Porsche case which led to the death of 2 people. Board calls the crime serious but not heinous enough. Stray dog menace rising in India. A young girl attacked by stray dogs in Chitradurga, Karnataka. And after Congress MLA son car rams into police constable, MLA mother defends son, cries political vendetta.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for the debate.
Stray dog crisis as an epidemic breaks out over multiple dog attacks across the country. Do human lives matter less over love for dogs? At 8:30 p.m. this evening, for how long can elites get away with crime by using political clout? 114-year-old Fauja Singh crushed to death
while the arrogant MP MLA's son who was seen ramming into police constable is absconding. Can the rich and powerful get away with this? And at 9 p.m. this evening, it's a massive row over illegal immigrants on electoral rolls from Bihar to Assam and the state of West Bengal. Who is shielding the infiltrators? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sucharita Kukreti. I am filling in for Arnab tonight. He's not here. The stray dog crisis in India is no longer just a problem. It has become a full-blown menace. With nearly 6 crore stray dogs roaming the streets of India, ordinary people face this threat every single day. And some pay the price with their lives. Just weeks ago, 14-year-old Nitin from Manikwar village in Rewa was walking home from school when he was bitten by a stray dog. His family rushed him to the hospital. He was given anti-rabies shots and they thought the danger had passed. But weeks later, Nitin began having violent tremors, and by the time he was taken to Rewa Medical College, doctors said it was too late. In Noida, a woman fell off a ramp in her society when stray dogs attacked her. In Karnataka's Chitradur, a young girl between 6 and 9 years was attacked by stray dogs. A shocking video has surfaced showing at least 2 dogs chasing the little girl. And this comes from a state where in Bengaluru, the civic body sanctioned a 2.88 crore budget to feed stray dogs chicken and rice. At the end, the big question emerges, who is responsible? You won't believe this, but this issue now has become the #1 talking point in the nation. The matter even reached the Supreme Court today. On the issue of feeding dogs, even the Supreme Court today remarked, if you're so keen on feeding them, do it at home. And there is a reason for this alarm. In 2023 alone, over 30 lakh dog bite cases were reported in India. And in 2024, the number still stood at a staggering 22 lakh. What's worse is that 20% of the victims were children under the age of 15. We're all quite proud of India's statistics, but here is a shameful one. India now accounts for 36% of all rabies deaths globally, according to the World Health Organization. Now, this is no longer a rogue concern between animal lovers and those who've had the traumatic experiences. This is a public health emergency. The only question remains, which side do you stand on?
In high-rise societies, on streets, on main roads, it's become a burning issue of national safety. Watch these videos. A 3-year-old in Hubballi dragged and brutally attacked by 2 stray dogs. In Chitradurga, a 9-year-old attacked by stray dogs. She survived only after locals rescued her. In Uttar Pradesh's Greater Noida, a resident suffered spinal fracture after being attacked by dogs. The woman fell from a first-floor walkway as the dog charged towards her. In Porbandar, a 2-month-old baby was mauled and eaten by stray dogs. In Jalandhar, a woman is dragged, pulled and attacked by half a dozen dogs. Watch. In Indore, a college girl brutally attacked by 4 dogs. In Telangana's Karimnagar, a stray dog jumps towards a child and pins him to the ground. In Uttar Pradesh's Kushinagar, stray dogs come in a pack. They drag around and attack the child. Most of the victims in these cases are little children and women. 48 people have died in 2024 in dog bite related cases. Yet, the biggest security menace in India remains unaddressed. In fact, Congress government in Karnataka is ready to spend funds to feed biryani to stray dogs. The top court has come down heavily and told the petitioners, feed them in your house or open shelter in your own house. Top court asked the petitioners whether they go cycling in the mornings. Try it one day and see what happens. In 2024, there were 1.7 lakh dog bite cases as per NCRB. 2024 records suggest there are 60 million stray dogs in India. It's a complete civic mess. But dog lovers compound the problem. But should it not be human lives over stray dog menace?
I am joined on the debate by Shri Vijay Goyal, former Minister of State and social activist. I'm joined by political commentator Lokesh Jindal. I also have a well-known animal welfare activist Gauri Moleki. Senior journalist Ravio Rodriguez joins us on the debate, and so does Adnan Khan, who's a well-known dog behavior specialist. And I want to start this debate by making it very clear that we do need a solution to this dog menace. And let me begin with asking you, Mr. Goyal, because when the Supreme Court today said, and I quote, that there is space for these animals, but no space for humans. Is it not speaking the language that I think a lot of people in India would want to ask and would want to question? They're really focusing on the menace that these street dogs have become. Mr. Goyal.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट की
जी
इंटरवेंशन है और जो टिप्पणी है आवारा कुत्तों को लेकर, वो बिल्कुल सही है कि जो अपने आप को एनिमल लवर्स कहते हैं वो इन कुत्तों को गोद ले लें और अपने घरों में जाकर खिलाएं जाके, ना कि पब्लिक स्ट्रीट पे और ना कि किसी के घर के सामने। और ये समस्या केवल दिल्ली की नहीं है, ये पूरे देश की है जी। ये जो कुत्तों की आवारा स्ट्रे डॉग्स की जो अभी पॉपुलेशन है वो 12 करोड़ से ज़्यादा है और ये पूरे देश के अंदर फैली हुई है। और खाली इस सुप्रीम कोर्ट की नहीं, इससे पहले नागपुर, मुंबई, पंजाब, हरियाणा, दिल्ली, कई कोर्ट्स की जजमेंट्स आ चुकी हैं इसके बारे में, स्ट्रे डॉग्स के बारे में, पर कोई गवर्नमेंट सुनने को तैयार नहीं है। इसलिए जो सो कॉल्ड एनिमल लवर्स हैं इनकी संख्या बड़ी कम है, पर ये चिल्लाते ज़्यादा हैं। इसलिए हो ये रहा है कि ये जो स्ट्रे डॉग्स अटैक कर रहे हैं, आपको मालूम है दिल्ली के अंदर हर रोज 2000 बाइट के केसेस आते हैं, 2000। आरएमएल के अंदर लाइनें लगी हुई हैं जी, और कोई सोल्यूशन नहीं हो रहा। ये लोकल बॉडीज़ ने करना होता है और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की जिम्मेदारी है, पर लोकल बॉडीज़ ने जो अंडर ओबीसी रूल्स वैक्सीनेशन और स्टरलाइजेशन करना है उस पर हाथ झाड़े बैठे हैं। तो जो दिल्ली के अंदर अभी 7 लाख कुत्ते हैं वो 60 लाख कुत्ते हो जाएंगे थोड़े दिनों के अंदर, और लोग देखते रहेंगे। हमारे पास हजारों, हमारे पास थाउजेंड्स फोन आते हैं इस बात के लिए कि हमारी गली के अंदर कुत्ते, आवारा कुत्ते, स्ट्रे डॉग्स बहुत ज्यादा हो गए हैं। कई लोगों ने अपनी गलियों का नाम कुत्ते वाली गली रख दिया है, वहां काम करने के लिए कोई आने के लिए तैयार नहीं है। इसलिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बिल्कुल ठीक कहा है, जिनको कुत्तों से इतना प्यार है वो गोद ले लें और अपने घरों के अंदर जाकर खिलाएं।
And what Mr. Goyal is saying is not an exaggeration by any point. Savio, you wanted to come in, but let me just read out the statistics to you. What he's saying is not an exaggeration. People have actually started naming the streets like that. Gauri, I'll come to you. Gauri, I'll come to you, but let me just tell the viewers. Let me just tell the viewers. Uttar Pradesh, stray dog goes out on a biting spree, attacks 17 people in an hour. These are recent incidents that I'm talking about. Karnataka, a 6-year-old girl was mauled to death by street dogs. Let me just give out certain incidents that why are we debating this tonight? In Madhya Pradesh, 6 people were bitten together by dogs. In Goa, a 20-month-old girl was declared dead in the hospital after she was mauled by dogs. Now, a 20-month-old mauled by dogs? Gauri, I really do not know. You have a right
to fight for street dogs, but India is reporting on an average about 25 lakh dog bite cases every year. What are we going to do? Gauri.
To respond, Mr. Goyal has gone on for such a long time, uninterrupted. You have to give him some time now.
Go ahead, please.
So the Supreme Court heard a matter where the Honorable High Court of Allahabad specifically said that while people have the right to feed dogs, that is under the law made by the central government, it should be balanced so that people living in the neighborhoods are also not inconvenienced. Perfectly good order, and Supreme Court made a stray observation which has been blown out of proportion in the media. I would call upon the media to refrain from misinformation. On the other hand, the ABC program or the Animal Birth Control program is riddled with corruption. The Municipal Corporation of Delhi for the past 20 years has been conducting this program. Not a single project of theirs is recognized by the Government of India till date. Not a single one of them. All of them are running in complete corruption. ये ABC करते नहीं हैं, सिर्फ ABC के बिल भरते हैं. They only, for instance, now Mr. Goyal, going by Mr. Goyal's survey report, which basically doesn't exist, but he's saying there are about 7 lakh dogs in Delhi. About 20 lakh dogs have been billed for surgeries. Where are these dogs that are being billed for surgeries? Surgeries ho hi nahi rahe. Then there's no ABC happening. Only ABC billing is happening, and Delhi is not the only one. It's happening across the country because there is no monitoring happening. There's supposed to be a central monitoring committee. It's according to the Supreme Court's order, according to the central government's own rules, that monitoring committee has not met ever. So if that monitoring committee meets, asks for compliance, checks on these ABC programs, then corruptions would go down and dogs will actually be sterilized. The population will come down, rabies will come down. Everything is all about...
No, but Gauri, let me just tell you, you are saying that this is responsible for the dog menace. That is precisely what you're saying. You're saying this is exactly what is causing the dogs to bite, to maul, to kill people, to kill children. I am worried about those pictures that are running on our screen, Gauri. I am worried about these pictures that are on our screen. And I think all dog lovers are free to go to court and debate this in the court there. But the common man will only debate on these pictures that are going on right now. These stray dogs, have they not become a menace? Savio is smiling there. I've been told that you are a dog lover. But what has the court said? Do you go cycling in the morning? Try it one day and you will find out what this menace is. Why will the court say that?
I do go cycling. 1 second. You know, the problem you guys are making it out to be is the dogs. The dogs are not the problem. It's managing the stray dogs that's the problem. So let the government understand the problem better. We're all blaming the dogs. The point of the matter is the dog's going to behave in the nature of the dog. What have we done as the government to ensure that the stray dog menace is taken control of? Where are the measures put in place? Mr. Goyal is talking about measures, but can he truly ask himself, have the measures been put in place? Have the measures in most states been put in place? Why are you blaming the dogs? The dogs are not creating themselves to be stray. We don't have a responsibility or a job for the dogs themselves. What have we done? Can you please look at the real figures? Yes,
Savio, let me tell you, Savio, there are these high-rise societies in Delhi, Mumbai, Gurgaon, where people are ready to do all they can to feed the street dogs, but they are not able to adopt them, take them home. My simple question is exactly what the court is asking. Why can't you adopt them and take care of them? You want to feed them and let them be on the street to attack little children? So if the government is not doing... Savio. The onus for everything does not lie on the government. There are certain ownerships that need to be taken by citizens themselves and the so-called dog lovers. The so-called dog lovers. Lokesh Jindal, can I get you into the debate? No. See, I am very clear. Savio. There are certain ownerships that need to be taken by so-called dog lovers. You cannot stand for dog rights and let them maul children. I absolutely understand you questioning the government, but there are certain things that you need to take care of. Lokesh, he's saying it's the government that is responsible. It's the government that is responsible. It all lies on their shoulder. Why are you making such a big hue and cry over these stray dogs?
No, all the figures Goyal has spoken are wrong.
if at all a person is feeding stray dogs and he is causing the stray dog population to grow, the person is also responsible for all the events that take place because of the increase in the stray dog population. If this stray dog bites any person, recently we had a kabaddi player dying of rabies. We have seen individuals, small children mauled by the stray dogs. Then that person is equally responsible for this gruesome incident. In fact, I welcome the Supreme Court's judgment. The Supreme Court is absolutely right.
There is no judgment to welcome.
And
Sorry, there is no judgment to welcome. The Supreme Court just asked a question. It is not in any order. It's not recorded anywhere except being blown up by
you're grossly
mistaken. There is no judgment. Please go do your homework before you come to a TV debate. There is no judgment to celebrate.
At his own merry will, feed a stray dog. Feeding a stray dog,
feeding a stray dog or feeding a stray cow or feeding birds is something that Hindu culture has done for hundreds of years, millions of years.
No, madam,
we have lived alongside our animals for whatever.
Hindu culture,
you just come back from
Hindu
some
culture
country
of
and you want all the dogs out. No, that is part of Sanatan Dharma to actually feed whatever animals we have to feed.
These animals are being fed irresponsibly, and how these animals are causing immense distress to small children, old people,
there is no distress.
Women,
it is basically
and it is almost causing deaths in the urban areas.
Forget it. Forget anything that animal husbandry says. Forget the lover and hater debate. Just remember what the National Center for Disease Control has said about it. The NCDC has come up with a rabies action plan, National Action Plan on Rabies Control. They say that only animal birth control will work.
I just feel that you cannot tell this to the mother of a 20-month-old who was mauled by dogs that this is what Sanatan Dharma is.
So what do you do? What do you do? If
all I'm saying is, can you say this to the mother of a 20-month-old who was mauled by dogs? The children who died because of dog bites? And these have been violent incidents. When you see them on camera, you're scared, you're horrified. And there are people living in societies, in cities who are scared of seeing, they are scared of the sight of these stray dogs. What do you tell them? Sanatan Dharma is teaching you to be feeding them.
Disease Control has come up with a National Action Plan. Nobody reads it. Everybody who thinks, that they like dogs or don't like dogs, just start making up solutions on their own.
All right. Before I go to Adnan, let me just ask Mr. Goel.
The municipal corporations have to be held accountable to the NAP, the National Action Plan on Rabies Control, which only says that the ABC program has to be implemented. Have you ever bothered to read the DGHS, the Director General Health Services order, which says that every dog bite has to be recorded as pet dog bite or street dog bite? More than half the dog bites that are reported in hospitals come from pet dogs. Has any state even started doing that?
Let me take that answer from
because the central government's direction are falling on deaf ears.
Gauri Malekha on the debate says that the government is not taking action on the directives that have been put forth for them.
The
government is not acting.
Ministry of Health
and they are responsible for this menace.
Scientific instructions given directions.
Right, let me take a reply. Let me take a response. Mr. Goel.
देखिए मैं ये गौरी को चुप कराएंगे गौरी को 2 मिनट गौरी हमें भी बोलने दो
जी
देखिए सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम क्या है सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम आज ये सो कॉल्ड स्ट्रीट डॉग फीडर्स प्रॉब्लम हो गए हैं जी स्ट्रे डॉग से भी ज़्यादा ये प्रॉब्लम हो गए हैं क्योंकि जब भी एमसीडी की गाड़ी या लोकल बॉडीज़ की गाड़ी पकड़ने आती है तब ये लोग सामने आ जाते हैं कि इनको क्यों पकड़ के ले जाते हैं जाके उसके बाद जब भी इनका स्टेरिलाइजेशन वैक्सीनेशन का प्रोग्राम होता है हम उसके लिए अगर प्रोटेस्ट करते हैं कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा डॉग्स की स्टेरिलाइजेशन वैक्सीनेशन होने चाहिए तब ये लोग हमको डिस्टर्ब करने के लिए मीटिंगें आ जाती हैं मेरे पास ऐसी बहुत सारी वीडियो हैं सबसे बड़ी बात है इनसे पूछिए ये जो स्ट्रे डॉग्स की पॉपुलेशन लगातार बढ़ रही हैं और जो NGOs को काम दे रखा है उसमें इतनी करप्शन है कि आपका स्टेरिलाइजेशन और वैक्सीनेशन नहीं होता पहली तो एक प्रॉब्लम है उसको ये गवर्नमेंट को ये भी लोग काम नहीं करना देना चाहते क्योंकि डिस्टर्ब है दूसरा ये रिलोकेट नहीं करना चाहते एक अगर कुत्ता बार बार भी काट रहा है तो उसको अगर किसी शेल्टर में ले जाया जाएगा तो ये लोग आके प्रोटेस्ट करते हैं कि नहीं आप इसको रिलोकेट नहीं कर सकते ABC रूल ऐसा कहते हैं फिर ABC रूल्स के अंदर ये है कि आप सोसाइटी के अंदर इनको खाना खिला सकते हैं सोसाइटी उसके अगेंस्ट होती है आपस के अंदर झगड़े होते हैं ये लिफ्ट के पास खाने को डाल देते हैं बच्चे वहां पर जब आते हैं ये उनको काटने के लिए दौड़ते हैं आपको मालूम होना चाहिए स्ट्रे डॉग एक ऐसा एनिमल है जो अपना खाना खुद ढूंढ लेता है उसको देने की जरूरत नहीं है, पर जब आप खाना उसको देते हैं तो वो उस जगह पे राइट समझता है, तो कोई भी आदमी आता है तो वो उसको काटने के लिए दौड़ता है। तो इनसे सबसे पहले पूछिए, क्या हम काटने वाले कुत्ते को रीलोकेट कर सकते हैं? क्या उनको किसी शेल्टर में भेज सकते हैं क्या? अभी सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो टिप्पणी की है वो बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है, वो जजमेंट नहीं है पर वो टिप्पणी है। वो टिप्पणी इसलिए इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आप जो अपने आप को एनिमल लवर्स कहते हैं, आप इनमें से एक भी कुत्ता गोद नहीं ले जाते, आप उसको घर में नहीं पालते, आप उसको घर में खाना नहीं देते, आप पड़ोसी के सामने डालते हैं और पड़ोसी झगड़ रहे हैं। मेरे पास हजारों कॉल इस बात के लिए आते हैं कि इसके लिए एबीसी रूल्स को भी चेंज किया जाना चाहिए। ये डिमांड लगातार आरडब्ल्यूएस कर रही हैं। मेनका गांधी जी ने जब वो मिनिस्टर थी किसी तरह से लड़ झगड़ करके एनिमल लवर्स करके इन रूल्स को बना दिया था, जो रूल्स पब्लिक के अंदर आज सूट नहीं करते हैं। केरला गवर्नमेंट सुप्रीम कोर्ट में मूव किया उन्होंने कि हमको बताइए हम इन स्ट्रे डॉग्स का क्या करें, हमारे यहाँ इतनी बड़ी संख्या के अंदर हो जाते हैं। तो आप जानेंगे कि 2000 कुत्ते रोज दिल्ली के अंदर काट रहे हैं, ऐसे ही पूरे देश के अंदर हैं। पर दो तीन एनिमल लवर्स होते हैं, ये जाके केस करवा देते हैं। जो लोग स्ट्रे डॉग्स के ऊपर काम करना चाहते हैं या उनको हटाना चाहते हैं या उनका स्टरलाइजेशन चाहते हैं, दे वर द वन जो उनको डिस्टर्ब करते हैं, एमसीडी के लोगों को, गवर्नमेंट के लोगों को। इसीलिए
आप जो बात
टोटल मिला के एफर्ट होने चाहिए सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट।
मुझे लगता है कि इस पर इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट टू रिएक्ट बिकॉज व्हाट ही इज सेइंग इज राइट। व्हाट विल द कॉमन मैन डू इफ somebody's child is bitten by a dog? What will that person do? They will try and lodge a complaint. They will try to raise this issue that the common stray dogs are attacking. What will they do? And if they do that, as Mr. Goyal is saying, there is an entire community that comes over and says you are attacking stray dogs. Now let me go to Mr. Khan. Mr. Khan, the statistics tell us that 20% of dog bites. Mr. Khan, 20% of the victims are under the age of 15. That very clearly shows that stray dogs are attacking children more. And that is the reason people and families are scared.
And senior citizens.
Mr. Khan.
पार्कों में लोग सैर करने नहीं जा सकते, बच्चे पार्कों में खेलने के लिए नहीं जा रहे, जो पार्क में जा रहा है उसके हाथ में स्टिक होनी जरूरी हो गई है, ये हालत है।
No, he's actually saying this because he's got a lot of complaints, Mr. Khan. It's understandable.
Right. No, I absolutely understand. I mean, it's very valid to point out that kids, children and women have been targeted more because this is, from a behavior standpoint, a combination of pack mentality and chasing after any sound that is squealing, and जो भी उनको थोड़ा बहुत भी डर दिखाते हैं, anyone who's exhibiting any kind of fear and anxiety, the pack hierarchy kind of compounds over with them. The three things that we are ignoring time and time again that don't necessarily directly related to animal issues, one is the littering and the garbage. That for sure is a municipal problem. जहाँ पे भी littering compound hoti ja rahi hai, बढ़ती जा रही है, wherever there's so much garbage outside of the neighborhoods. The other thing is that there is so much urban development in places that used to be forests and wildlife, and animals used to exist well before greater Noida, new greater Noida for example existed. So un areas mein any new colony that is coming in, they have to allocate the budget for taking account of what number of strays that existed, and usse population ek bhi badhni nahi chahiye. The other question that I want to ask everyone, whether it's government or civilian or anyone on ground, all of these photos that we're sharing, obviously it's amplifying the dogs attacking the people. If we could have shared 4 videos of people burning a dog alive, mutilating an animal, 5 people murdering
can I intervene,
dog.
please?
Let me just finish.
Let me just
finish.
Let him
Yeah, for sure. Let me just finish.
I've come to him a little late in the debate. Let him complete.
Yeah, the things that we're focusing on is essentially the animals, elements that are being enhanced. The point that I want to make is that all of these incidents, the kid obviously is being taken care of, but the animals have not been highlighted with the nearby authorities so that immediate rehabilitation and behavior correction can happen, and we can start making a nationalized database and profile of all of the incidents that are happening, not just in the news, but actually the dogs that are doing it, so that government assigned behavior specialists can come in and help with the rehabilitation. Yeah, sir, go ahead.
Okay.
Now, see, first of all, let's get certain facts right. The rise in population of these dogs has nothing to do with displacement of forests and emergence of cities. In urban areas, there is usually a higher food availability, and this food availability is directly proportional to the increase in the dog population. There are drainage systems which give rise to a different form of an ecosystem, and which also enables necessary sufficient conditions for an increase in dog population. So first and the foremost, you have to understand that it's as much of a challenge. An increasing dog population is a challenge similar to rise in population of mice, rise in population of rats and other vermin and other forms of animals which can have a significant threat on human population. They are carriers of diseases and they are responsible for epidemics and different forms of disease outbreaks. So having compassion for animal life is understood, but not at the cost of human life, sir. Secondly, when we are talking about municipal corporations, time and again we have seen in developed nations abroad also that there are interventions required to carry out sterilization as well as have the anti-rabies injections given to these dogs. Make sure that they do not bring about a harm to elderly, children and women. And if an individual recklessly indulges in feeding these dogs and causing an increase in concentration in a particular region, he is contributing towards danger to the life of the commuters in that region. I would say
to actually get them neutered also,
wants to come in.
Because by making the dogs friendly, it becomes easier to neuter them and catch them for sterilization.
No, madam, what are you talking about?
By making dogs friendly, that you actually can avoid, and that's the science on which the NCDC's report is also. That's the science on which the central government's national action plan
is. But the argument is bizarre.
How can you just?
Argument is
bizarre.
No, but you know, Gauri, what is troubling for a lot of people who are not able to relate to this love for dogs. And I think
So there is no love for dogs for any species. For instance, if Kenya has too many elephants, or if certain parts of America has too many wild horses, or if India has monkeys, for instance, which is again a problem. जब हम दूसरी species की बात करते हैं तो उसकी population control में हमें scientific measures use करने होते हैं. ऐसे ही बस हम उनको चौराहे पे खड़ा होकर जला नहीं सकते हैं. Which is why in 2001, 25 years ago, we came up with an animal birth control.
You're absolutely right in saying that, Gauri. But when there are incidents where dogs are mauling and killing people, I think it is very understandable that even the so-called dog lovers should be siding with the people who are raising this concern. Because
there is nothing as
because there are, as Mr. Goyal said, that there have been complaints where people have said that their children are being attacked, and the so-called dog lovers stand up and say that they will not let them be removed from those societies. Now this will surely lead to a further collision. This will lead to the debate going on. But people will be worried for their well-being and their children's well-being. If there are incidents where dogs are attacking, that means there is a tendency. They are going violent.
Corporations and the state governments accountable for carrying out a good animal birth control program. Take the example of Lucknow.
Okay. Now,
Lucknow runs the biggest animal birth control center in the country and it's done remarkable work.
I've already given you the figure for the dog population.
Birth control that there is now no puppy sighting, there is no lactating.
I have already. This is exactly what Mr. Goyal was saying.
Everything has been resolved through a proper program.
The so-called dog lovers will fight it out to the end.
Why can't Tamil Nadu do that? Why can't Andhra Pradesh do that? What Lucknow, what UP and Uttarakhand have done? Why can't it be replicated?
No, I completely understand. I completely understand, Gauri. You're saying that the government needs to do more. But what I'm saying is that what
central government has done
happens to the common people? They will also have to take onus. Everything cannot be done by the government. Mr. Goyal, is the government not doing anything at all? When I'm saying, Gauri, and I say this because the whole rabies epidemics has come into the foray. The country is responsible for 36% of global rabies deaths. And this is all happening because of stray dogs.
रेबीज का इलाज हमें टीवी पे लोगों से बात करके तो मिलेगा नहीं, ना ही सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजेस को रेबीज के बारे में, उसकी कंट्रोल के बारे में कोई बहुत ज्यादा ज्ञान है। वो ज्ञान सिर्फ एक ही बॉडी को है और उसका नाम है
मैम। नहीं मिलेगा तो इसका कोई सोल्यूशन तो ढूंढना पड़ेगा ना। सोल्यूशन हैज टू बी, हम सोल्यूशन की बात नहीं करेंगे क्या गौरी जी? वी विल हैव टू फाइंड अ सोल्यूशन एंड दैट ओनली हैपेंस थ्रू अ डिबेट और अ डिस्कशन।
बता रहे हैं और मिस्टर विजय गोयल उसको डिसरिगार्ड करते हैं, तो इट रियली
ठीक है मिस्टर गोयल, आपकी सरकारें कोई काम नहीं कर रही है डॉग्स के लिए, स्ट्रे डॉग्स के लिए, इज व्हाट गॉड इज सेइंग। अगर आप करेंगे तो दिस विल नॉट हैपन।
सालों में बजट हेड्स ही
सो डोंट स्टॉप ब्लेमिंग द डॉग लवर्स।
देखिए
जी,
एक है सरकारें काम नहीं कर रही, दूसरी है सरकारों को काम नहीं करने दिया जा रहा। हमको यहाँ पर एमसीडी और दूसरे अधिकारी आके कहते हैं कि हमारे खिलाफ थानों के अंदर, पुलिस स्टेशंस में एफआईआर करा दी जाती है और हम पे गलत आरोप लगा दिए जाते हैं। इसलिए मेरा पहला प्रोक ये है, जब हम पार्कों में स्ट्रे डॉग्स के को लेकर मीटिंगें करते हैं तब लोग ये डिस्टर्ब करते हैं, तो हम इनसे पूछते हैं आर यू अगेंस्ट वैक्सीनेशन एंड स्टरलाइजेशन? तो पार्क में तो अगेंस्ट होते हैं, प्राइवेट में कहते हैं जी हम अगेंस्ट नहीं हैं, हम स्टरलाइजेशन और वैक्सीनेशन है। तो ये सारे डॉग लवर से लिखवाइए कि आप स्टरलाइजेशन और वैक्सीनेशन के खिलाफ तो नहीं है, नंबर एक बात। दूसरी बात, ये अपार्टमेंट्स के अंदर, ये सोसाइटीज के अंदर, ये फ्लैट्स के बाहर, ये वहां पर स्ट्रीट डॉग्स को खाना नहीं खिलाएंगे, ये तय होना चाहिए जी। इससे आधे से ज्यादा झगड़े कम हो जाएंगे। तीसरा, जो कुत्तों को रिलोकेट किया जाएगा तब भी ये उसके बारे में प्रोटेस्ट नहीं करेंगे। जो काटने वाले कुत्ते हैं उनके ऊपर अगर एक्शन किया जाएगा तब भी ये प्रोटेस्ट नहीं करेंगे। मैं आपको इतने केस दिखा सकता हूं जिन्होंने, इन लोगों ने, जो सो कॉल्ड डॉग लवर्स हैं या एनिमल लवर्स हैं, इन्होंने रेप तक के केस दर्ज करा रखे हैं थानों के अंदर। मैं आपको एक लंबी लिस्ट भेज सकता हूं, आप दोबारा बहस के लिए बुला लेना। और ये लोग 2-2, 4-4 होते हैं सोसाइटी के अंदर, पूरी सोसाइटी को कंट्रोल करते हैं। आप जब मेरे साथ चाहें सोसाइटी में चलिए, नोएडा की, गाजियाबाद की, दिल्ली की सोसाइटीज में चलिए, वहां लोग इतना परेशान हैं कि वो कहते हैं हम सुसाइड करने को तैयार हैं, इन स्ट्रे डॉग से हमने इतना परेशान है। तो इनको पूछिए ये स्ट्रे डॉग्स की वकालत करने के लिए क्यों खड़े होते हैं? एनिमल्स तो बहुत सारे मारे जा रहे हैं, उनकी तो वकालत खड़ा करके नहीं कर रहे। बकरे मर रहे हैं, कट रहे हैं, उनकी तो ये वकालत नहीं कर रहे। ये स्ट्रे डॉग की क्यों कर रहे हैं? और ये क्यों नहीं उनको गोद लेते और क्यों नहीं उनको खाना घर के अंदर खिलाते? सड़क पे फेंक के चले जाते हैं, गंदगी भी होती है, हेल्थ को भी खतरा होता है और साथ के अंदर लोगों को बड़ी परेशानी होती है और झगड़े।
Is that a reason? What he's saying that you've allocated places, you are feeding the street dogs, they are running over everywhere, and that is making them a menace for societies. Does that happen?
Before I come to the feeding part, I want to take up Mr. Goel's point about MCD going and उनको काम नहीं करने दिया जाता. I would, I'm not going to take any stand of for and against because सबसे biggest problem यही है कि दो अलग-अलग extreme radical good बने हुए हैं, haters and lovers का. The only way to bring this together is people, all of them come together on the same page because कटेगा तो ना उनका कोई religion देखेंगे, ना lover या hater देखेंगे. जब bite होगी या dog को hurt होगा, there is no religion or stand. So what I'm trying to say is कि अगर MCD वाले जाते भी हैं, I personally have seen the background of those guys. They are not verified. They have not been formally trained to handle animals. बस उठा लिया जाता है. कोई भी बंदा जो कूड़ा उठाने वाला था, वो डॉग उठाने वाला हमने रख लिया. उनको कोई भी बिहेवियर ट्रेनिंग बैकग्राउंड नहीं है. मैंने खुद देखा है, टांगों से घसीट के उनके डॉग्स ले जा रहे हैं. तो डॉग लवर्स जो है, उनका कंपैशन उस टाइम पे आ जाता है कि जिसको हम इतना प्यार से रख रहे हैं, उसको अगर MCD एक गवर्नमेंट बॉडी ऐसे घसीट के पटक के वैन में
कोई बहाना चाहिए. देख लीजिए, ये मान रहे हैं ना, प्रोटेस्ट करते हैं. ये मान रहे हैं, ये प्रोटेस्ट करते हैं जी. कुछ भी कहेंगे, टांग से घसीट के ले जा रहे हैं, इसके
बुरी हालत में, बहुत ही बुरी हालत में हमने डॉग कंट्रोल को इतना लोएस्ट बजट और लोएस्ट रिगार्ड दिया हुआ है कि कूड़े उठाने की गाड़ी भी शायद ज्यादा साफ होती होगी डॉग उठाने की गाड़ी से. सो लेट्स ट्राई टू फोकस एंड एनहांस द बजट एंड सी इफ यू आर सेइंग,
इसका मतलब आप प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं ना,
आप बजट बढ़ाइए. आप
You agree that you are protesting of MCD action.
How USA, जैसे USA और UK और Netherlands पैसे allocate करते हैं, आप उस लेवल के पैसे allocate कीजिए ना. Just because dogs vote नहीं कर पाते, उनका automatically right human से नीचे क्यों हो गया? Just because they don't have a vote. You push the budget, get educated guys to handle the dogs who have been trained and licensed, not someone who could have 3 FIRs of addiction beyond them itself, कि भाई वो कुत्ते बस पटक के वापस रख रहे हैं because वो they don't have value for life. Let's try to get educated. आप नेदरलैंड या साउथ अफ्रीका में
आप गलत कह रहे हैं. आप सिर्फ अपनी बात को करने के लिए पटक कर रहे हैं.
Nobody is supporting that kind of behavior towards dogs. Nobody is supporting. I don't think even Mr. Goel will support it. But what he's saying is there are so many animals. And there are so many, he's saying why this love only for street dogs? He's saying that love can come forth for a lot of other species, is what he's saying. And more so for your own species, for your own kind, is what he's saying. Now, I want to make this very clear. We're not against street dogs. We're not against any kind of, the debate might be, the kind of point of view that you guys are keeping. We are not against street dogs, but it has become a full-blown menace and it needs to be addressed, is what I'm trying to say. Thank you so much for joining me on the debate. Moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, from an MLA's son trying to run over policeman to a 114-year-old Fauja Singh being killed by an NRI driving, there have been multiple incidents of brats on roads. In Pune Porsche hit-and-run case, the VVIP rich brat will be tried as a minor. Reason? The Juvenile Justice Board says the crime is serious and not heinous. At this point, the common citizens live under fear. Unless you are a politician or have rich connections, it's risky to walk on streets. Are the vehicles licensed to kill for VVIPs? Here's the full report, and then we debate.
In Maharashtra, in Madhya Pradesh, in Punjab, India has witnessed an alarming trend. In Pune, two techies, both 24 years old, were run over, crushed to death by 17-year-old VVIP brat driving 2 crore Porsche. While hearing a plea, the Juvenile Justice Board says that the crime is serious but not heinous. In Alirajpur district of Madhya Pradesh, watch this VVIP brat son of Congress MLA trying to run over policemen. He hits on-duty cops while driving his Fortuner and almost attempts to mow them down without any fear of law and order. It's not his first brush with the law. In fact, he has a history of crime. But for his mother, it's a thoda sa accident.
मेरा बच्चा किसी को छोड़ने जा रहा था और गाड़ी नहीं कटी, थोड़ा सा डिवाइडर से वो टच हो गया ना, टकरा गया, ठीक है। तो उसके ऊपर 307 की धारा लगा दी। तो थोड़ा सा एक्सीडेंट, गाड़ी कटी नहीं, डिवाइडर पे जाके टकरा गई है, थोड़ा सा खंबे पे टकराई है। तो इसमें हत्या जैसा तो कोई मामला ही नहीं था, लेकिन मेरे बच्चे के ऊपर, मेरे बेटे के ऊपर हत्या वाला 307 की धारा लगाई। तो मैं इसकी घोर निंदा करती हूँ।
All this while, the accused remains absconding. In Punjab, the turbaned tornado of 114-year-old Fauja Singh, a marathoner, died after being hit by a Fortuner. The accused, an NRI driver, has been arrested.
हाँ जी सर, दोपहर 3 बजे के बाद ना, मतलब 3 बजे तो बाद मैं भी घर ही सीगा। मैं 3 बजे निकलिया घरों, वो मेरे तो 5 मिनट बाद, 5-6 मिनट बाद घरों निकलिया, कैमरिਆਂ 'ਚ ਆਏ ਆ। ਤੇ ਉਹ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਡੀ ਲੇਬਰ ਲੱਗੀ ਸੀ, ਉਹਦਾ ਰੋਡ ਤੇ ਉਧਰ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਘੱਟੇ ਹੀ ਸੀ, ਪਿੰਡ ਵੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀ, ਉਧਰ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਦੇਖਣ, ਢਾਬਾ ਵੀ ਆ ਸਾਡਾ। ਤੇ ਉਹ ਉਧਰ ਨੂੰ ਚੱਲ ਗਿਆ। 3:13-14 ਤੇ ਇਹ ਹਾਦਸਾ ਵਾਪਰ ਗਿਆ ਜੀ। ਉਹ ਗੱਡੀ ਵਾਲਾ ਹਿੱਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਾਪੂ ਜੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਨੂੰ
hit, run, escape.
गाड़ी छोड़।
Is it that easy to run over citizens in this country? Where is the fear of law and where is the stringent implementation of law and order?
I'm joined by Mr. K.K. Menon, Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court, on the debate tonight. I'm joined by Manish Barrier, who speaks for the BJP, Akhil Swami, who speaks for the Congress Party, and also Swapnil Kothari, Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court again. Thank you so much for joining me on the debate. Let me start with Mr. Menon. Mr. Menon, where is the fear? There seems to be no fear. People are just ramming their vehicles over people without really realizing the kind of fear they've instilled on pedestrians. People have stopped, they're scared for their lives walking over streets Because until and unless you have political connections or you're rich, you know that they will be getting over with it.
Of course, ma'am, in fact, people don't afraid from the law today, either for accident, for even otherwise. You can see, I have seen on your channel number of times how the people are behaving and fighting on the streets and beating the people. People die. But at the same time, I think we should take some measurement now, because you know that earlier it was 337 for a simple injury, 338 IPC was a grievous injury, 304A where the person died, and sentence for 338 where grievous injury was 2 years, where the person died, 304A IPC sentence was 2 years. You know why this 2 years for death case? Because at that time when the IPC was enacted, at that time only English people, Angrez, they were having the vehicles. We didn't have. Mostly Indian didn't have, including Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, whatever I can say. But at the same time, for the last more than 75 years now, about 70 years, we have enacted the law number of times. We have made amendment number of times. But my perception is absolutely different. I think accident is not only in a negligent manner. Sometime you will see the pedestrian cross the road. I have seen a lot of such type of cases where the person died or injured. They are at fault. But ultimately, who will be prosecuted? Prosecution will be of a driver of the vehicle. But at the same time, sometime you will find, in the night you will find the vehicles under the influence of liquor. People drive the vehicle like that like a jungly people, I can say. I'm using the word, people will pardon me for this, and they don't understand that the people are living on this earth, people are going on the road and jig-jag like that motorcyclist, and the cars like in the night itself. Mostly accident in cars, with cars, happened in the night. Mostly you will find it. They come after drinking from the clubs, from friends' houses, and they met with an accident in which sometime even the who are driving, even he himself died. But my request would be before the government, even today again, they should differentiate where the vehicle being driven by a person under the influence of liquor, and sometimes the doctor also dishonestly say smell of alcohol. They don't even the driver examine properly whether he was under the influence of liquor. He is he can't even stand on his own legs while driving the vehicle. Arrest by the people, by the police, usually take him to the hospital. If the doctor in a routine doctor written smell of alcohol, it is not sufficient for that accident
this is
case.
happening when we are repeatedly showing grieving families, when we are showing that how people are ramming into pedestrians, on people who are sleeping on the streets, and no lesson being learned, no lesson at all. And I feel proud of the fact that it was Arnab Goswami who took up the Porsche case. And then others followed suit. Otherwise, that case would not have even been followed. We took it up, and we took it up because it is becoming the new menace. Getting drunk and driving over people, sleeping on the streets. Swapnil? And the people who understand law would also follow the same. This in March 2025 in Vadodara, an intoxicated lawyer was caught on video enjoying the crash and calling for another round.
Yes, Sucharita, I'm glad that Arnab has been taking up this case, and he's done that since quite some time. And not only the Porsche case, but I remember the Lal Batti culture was essentially stopped by him when he took a barrage of cases one after the other.
Exactly.
And yesterday also, Sucharita, I saw the debate, and absolutely Republic TV, and he were bang on point that VVIP brats have taken the law for granted. It's not that the laws are not I wouldn't say that they are fully sufficient. Yes, they need to be a little bit more stringent. For example, just to touch upon yesterday's case, if you're going to distinguish between serious and heinous, I don't really know whether the thesaurus would even laugh at it, because I think both of them are synonyms of each other. But in law, if you try to distinguish, saying that, oh, this is serious, but this is not heinous, so let's treat him as a juvenile, that itself is ridiculing the entire system of law and entire system of criminal jurisprudence. You need to treat that person as whether it's a serious or a heinous crime. So what needs to be done is that if there is a judicial, decisions that have sought to make this distinction, that distinction needs to be obliterated by the parliament, because if the judiciary is not going to overrule that part, then the parliament needs to do it by making an amendment saying that there shouldn't be any difference between serious and heinous, both need to be same. Now, coming to the point is the more so as far as today's case, where the mother is protecting the son and saying that, this is this is a very minor thing. And one thing, Sucharita, which I have not liked, is that he's run over cops. Now, I think he's run over human beings. That should be the tagline. Whether it's a cop, whether it's a beggar or anyone else, everybody has got a right to life under the Constitution. So to say that,
Swapnil, why is that a headline is because those constables were telling him to stop. They were giving him a signal. Now, in a lot of cases, there are VVIP brats running over people who are sleeping. So there's nobody to alarm them. But here, and I'm not saying that's a justification, but here there are people alarming you. They're telling you to stop and you're running over them.
Correct. Sucharita, I understood that. What I'm just trying to say is, I'm not saying that the headline made by Republic TV is wrong. What I'm just trying to say is that mindset where the people tend to say, cops, there is some... See, first of all, we suffer from some sort of a special culture. We have this fascination towards, people from the upper crust of society. We meaning, I don't mean you and you and I. What I mean to say is that people tend to say that, okay, the judiciary is only for the rich. The poor don't have access to justice. I beg to differ there. The point is that the prosecution, the implementation of the law is not sufficient. What is happening here is that the judiciary cannot do it if the prosecution
there is a mindset. Mr. Manan, before I go to Mr. Akhil Swami and Manish Barrier, Mr. Manan, there is a mindset, because otherwise why would it be that all these cases where we hear that people are run over, it is by VVIP brats, by the rich? Why does it happen? We never hear of, and it's rarely that you will hear that some cycle has run over people sleeping, or some Maruti 800 has run over people sleeping. It is always an Audi or a BMW or a Porsche.
Or Mark, you can say. Anyway, I will tell you a few things. You see that the prosecution case goes to the court subsequently. First of all, the investigating agency should be very honest, which they are not. Not all the people, I can say, all the investigating officers, but mostly they are corrupt. They are corrupt, they connived with the driver of the offending vehicle. And secondly, when the case goes to the court, usually after taking money, either the injured or the parents or whatever it is, the whose family will take money in these cases and compromise with the matter. It is, I can say, 80%. I'm telling you the truth because I started the practice from trial court from Patiala House.